Talk gonna be about CodeBuild, fully managed CI, and maybe even CD. Who knows? Before we start, I need my phone for 1 sec. Because I need you to smile. Right. So basically, what we're going to do is try to do a live demo. They never work, but we'll try. And I'm going to talk a little bit about CodeBuild and code pipeline, code commit, and then we're going to have questions. Shite. So I just need quickly upload some photos. Come on. While I'm doing that, by the show of hands, who had or is using AWS Code Commit? No, one. 2, right, we've got 2. So for everyone else, AWS Code Commit is a managed Git repositories. That's it. The good thing about the code commit is it allows you to use AWS AMI to define access to each repo, which means you can give a specific box access to a specific repo with no keys. Yay! Code pipeline. By show of hands, anyone heard of code pipeline? 1, 10-ish, right. So for everyone else, code pipeline is a automated workflow tool. I think that's the best way to put it. It basically allows you to, allows you to use things like code commit, code build, code deploy, and other AWS code services to shape your workflow, pretty much. And then code build, again, if anyone is using code build, raise your hands, please. No one, right. So code build is really brilliant, and I will talk about it in a little bit in more details. Come on. Right, so I'm not gonna use that image, that photo, unfortunately. No. Because I have no coverage, right. What I will do, I will leave it here. Cool. So I think I have to start the demo. So the reason why I'm making this talk is because I do believe that frequent deliveries should be simple. And by simple, I mean it should be simple by for non-technical people. So your product owner should be able to release, roll back by himself or herself. Before we go to code build, most of the time everything we do starts with some idea, then there are some magical steps, and then we end up with something that is on live, or it's a product that we can ship, like a printer with some software that was being developed and tested. And many years ago, people thought, right, we can automate some of those steps, and they've called it continuous integration. And it was nice. It took you right about here somewhere. Then people said, right, we can take it further, and we'll call it continuous delivery. But there are always some manual steps on the way. Someone needs to approve something. Someone needs to check if the website looks okay, and so on and so on. And then, if you're lucky, you can work for a company that has a continuous deployment where everything just happens to magically appear on live servers with no interaction whatsoever. And CodeBuild can help you build all those three. Because what it is just a managed Docker cluster that allows you to start Docker of your choice. So you can either build your image, upload it to Amazon repo, or use any public Docker image, or use the one provided by AWS for all sorts of different languages like Java, Python, PHP, Node. So you can start it up, you can upload some input to it, and then run your commands. Any commands you want. It's your project. You then run it. CodeBuild will capture all the output, put it into log groups, and then it will output the artifacts back to S3. And it's pretty useful. I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's literally, depending on that Docker image, you can do whatever you want. You can build Android apps, you can build Java apps, you can compile C code, you can, again, the only limits is it has to be Linux box, that's it. Oh, damn it. The input is right now limited to only 3 options. So it's either code commit, GitHub, or S3. And code commit and GitHub will cover like 90% of cases anyway. If the source code of your project is not in one of those 2, you can just zip it and send to S3 bucket, and that would trigger CodeBuild, or that would trigger code pipeline that then can trigger CodeBuild. But again, it's that simple and that powerful. Again, you can, any project you're working on, as long as it's building on a Linux box, I'm sure you can build a Docker image that can be used to run some build commands to actually build your project. There are obviously, it sounds brilliant, but there are always some small little tweaks that sometimes are really, really painful. When you create CodeBuild project in the web interface, it will take care of all of that. But if you want to automate that, automate the build process, it's a good idea to think about log groups. So when the web console creates the log groups for you, it will not set any retention period. So you will keep the logs forever, and you will pay for all those logs forever. So it's a good idea just to create them up front and set the retention period to 7 days, 30 days, whatever you want. The same for IAM permissions. If you want, again, the web console will create a group for you, but it's a good idea to sort of make sure that you only allow certain actions on certain resources. So it's always a good idea to go and create those IAM permissions yourself. The thing I found is, because it's so new, or really new-ish, finding the correct permissions to put into IAM role is hard. But yeah, I will upload some example CloudFormation files from that demo, which pretty much defines if code pipeline can access CodeBuild projects, if CodeBuild can access code commit, yada 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 yada. So all different things. Then S3 lifecycle. Once you deploy that and it starts to live on its own, it will start generating the build artifacts. And it's a good idea just to make sure that after, again, a month, 2, 3, S3 will automatically delete the old files. So you don't have to think about it. You don't have to clean anything. It will just happen on its own. The same for keys management. Again, by default, if you don't specify anything, Amazon will create a key for you to make sure that all the build artifacts and the source code is encrypted with the key. And it will create the permissions for those keys. Again, if you want, it's nice to sort of define it up front and say, okay, I want to use this key for this project, I want to use that key for that project, and define which build can access which KMS key. And again, I will put all that on the GitHub somewhere. Code pipeline. My advice is don't use it yet. It's really, I mean, I'm using it right now for the demo. It's really, really powerful, but it gives you only one view of your pipeline. So in other words, you cannot tell what built yesterday or an hour ago or 5 minutes ago. You just know what happened just right now, which sometimes is enough, but in most cases you want to have that control. You want to see what happened yesterday in the middle of the night, what triggered that broken build or whatever. With code pipeline, if another event triggered the pipeline again, you won't be able to see the event that caused the broken build. So for now, I would say have a look, play with it, but don't use it on production. So it's the demo. In order to make the whole code build projects easy to run and easy to execute, it's really, really important to make sure that your project is self-contained. And what I mean by that is, what is happening right now is the demo project created, uploaded itself to Code Commit and created a 3 or 6 code build projects. Each of those code build projects will download that repo and execute few make commands to build AMIs and then to deploy those AMIs in auto-scaling groups to a VPC that it will build before. And again, everything used in that process is built using that makefile. So Ansible is downloaded as a virtual env dependency. Packer is downloaded as a binary file and kept and downloaded into the folder, and so on and so on. So you don't need any special Docker image, and you can run it on any laptop. So, and then you know that if it works on your laptop, it will work on that Docker image, because again, all the dependencies are pulled in during the build. Use Makefile or any other tool to orchestrate that build. It can be anything you want, as long as it's in single place, it's well documented, nice comments, anyone can pick it up, go through it, perfect. I choose Ansible, CloudFormation, and Packer. You can choose whatever you want. We're using Ansible mainly because it's easy to read for non-infrastructure developers. So if I will show the code to anyone, he can understand what is going on. And that's really, really useful when developers want to understand how his or her application is being built and deployed. CloudFormation, because we are on AWS, it makes perfect sense. And you get all the nice things. You don't have to worry about state of your stack. It rollbacks automatically, and so on and so on. And the Packer is used to build the AMIs. It's just easier than building the AMIs yourself. Ooh, it's done. Where's my mouse? Any questions? No? So what happened pretty much is, let me, is it off? No, it's fine. Oh, oh, come on. There it is. So I didn't manage to upload the image. Sorry, that's the image just from an hour ago. But we can take a look at that one. So what happened is, so what happened was the code created a pipeline, downloaded the code again from Code Commit. It built 2 AMIs, one for Bastion image, one for the demo app that I just showed you. And it started the building of NAT service. When that was finished, it just deployed the web demo and the Bastion image. And code build. So if I check the output of a web demo, so that's how it looks. You can get all the output from the Docker container in your logs. You can see exactly what happened, when, why, and that's it. It is really that simple. So if you're paying a lot for your Jenkins nodes, if you're paying a lot for any continuous delivery or integration services, take a look at CodeBuild. It can really save you a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of hassle. The minimum size for your Docker container will be 3 cores and I think 8 gigs of RAM or 4 gigs of RAM. So, and that's the minimum. So they are pretty powerful, and you'll pay half of pence per minute, I think, for that build time. So yeah, definitely take a look, and you can build whatever Docker images you want and use them to run your build processes. That's it.